Hello, my name's Kent Curry, Rugby Development Manager for the Waikato Rugby Union. Today on the show we've got Waikato ITM Cup Head Coach Chris Gibbes. Welcome, Gibbo.
Hey, Kent.
Hey, look, mate, you've obviously been out watching club rugby so far this year. Are you impressed with the playing talent?
Oh, I think so. And what we've seen is some really colossal matchups. Last week, Fraser Tech versus Old Boys was a huge game, and we've been seeing a lot of that during the club rugby and competition this season, and there's a lot of good talent on show.
Are you impressed with the way teams are playing the game, like their patterns of play and that type of thing? Because it's been said that the same way attack is ingrained into Waikato teams across all levels of the game. Do you agree with that?
I think it's a pattern that most people will be familiar with when they watch Waikato, but I don't think definitely it's ingrained. You know, at the beginning of the season we saw a lot of width in our attack play, particularly at club level, but as the sort of weather's packed in a little bit, it's been a lot more close target type rugby, and that pattern of play with the same way has been useful for most teams. And
do you think the level of intensity of these games, does that prepare players for ITM Cup rugby?
Obviously ITM Cup's another step up, but we've been really pleased over the last couple of years in terms of some of the intensity that we're getting into club rugby, and I think with the format how it is now with the top 10 teams and just on a home and away basis, it really does create a lot of intensity each week, but no, overall we're pretty happy with where it's at.
Because it's quite an even competition at the moment, isn't it? There hasn't been too many blowout scores.
No, it hasn't, and I think Te Rapa got a couple put on them early on, but I just went and watched them last weekend against Otaronga, and they've improved out of sight, which is really pleasing.
Good stuff, mate. Hey, let's talk about your high performance squad at the moment. Can you just explain what type of players in there, like the calibre of that particular player, how many's in the squad, and what's their training program look like?
Well, firstly we'll start with the training program. That's the easy bit. They train every day. On Mondays and Thursdays they train twice a day with us, mainly doing a lot of conditioning work. The type of player that's in that group is guys that we believe that have got potential to play for Waikato in the next couple of years. Obviously with the formatted ITM Cup this year and a crossover with Super Rugby, we've had to try and unearth the next level down, and so there's been a lot of energy put into the next 20 players. So we've got guys in there that have played ITM Cup, some have played Super Rugby, some haven't experienced it at all. So it's quite a diverse range, but they're all sort of training for that one goal, which is to try and play for Waikato in the next 2 years.
So you just touched on that ITM Cup format. God, it's a challenging format, isn't it? Like potentially 11 games in 7 weeks. Like, how are you going to prepare your boys?
Oh, I think it's exciting, actually. It's unique. You know, there's a lot of challenges, but there's challenges every year. And our challenge this year is that we've got a lot of games to fit in sort of 10 weeks. But, you know, we think that, you know, like I say, it's unique, but it's never going to happen again in these players' lives, I don't think. We won't have this sort of format. We're actually looking forward to it. Again, players love playing the game. The training's a bit that they, I think, get tired of, so there's not going to be as much training this year, so it's quite exciting for that fact alone.
Hey, look, on the 1st of June here in Matamata, actually, there's a really exciting game between the Corinthians and Harlequins. Great opportunity for our best club talent to show what they have.
Well, I think it's an excellent initiative, and you know, between two historic associate clubs, the Waikato, the Corinthians and Harlequins, and you know, we are going to have our best club players on show that night, and I think you know, from my point of view as a Waikato selector and coach, you know, it's just going to be great to see them play at another level of intensity. So, no, great initiative, and looking forward to it.
So let's just talk about your squad this year. Like, you've got the majority of last year's team as the core of your team this year, potentially.
Yeah, we have. I think, you know, with the brutality of Super Rugby, and just got to look around at the injuries in each franchise at the moment, the brutality of that is going to put some pressure on players in terms of how they rock back up to ITM Cup. But no, we've got a core squad. We've got a few holes that will need to be filled. But again, each week we're watching club rugby. Hopefully something comes out of this Corinthians Harlequins game that'll shore up a couple of selection issues for us as well. But you know, we've got the majority of the squad sorted.
And mate, what a fantastic news about Marty Holler coming back from overseas to put on the red, yellow and black hoops again. Tremendous for the union.
I think so, and you know, Marty's really excited by the opportunity. You know, I think one of the key things that we needed this year is to have this experience. You know, we needed leaders that could go, you know, sort of 12 rounds as we talk, and having a guy like Marty to come back in to help us with that leadership is going to be huge. You know, guys like Zach Honecker are excited by Marty coming back to learn off him, but also to compete with him, and I think it's going to be really good for us.
So Gibbo, like you love Waikato obviously, and you've been trying to install some of the great Waikato values and qualities, and trying to create awareness around the history of our game to the current player within your squad. What are some of the initiatives that you've done to try and, teach these players what a Waikato player is all about?
Well, I don't think I've done anything special. We've got a group of people that around us, like obviously Greg and Scott particularly. But what we've done is we've just tried to lean on the things that are good about Waikato, and it's pretty common sense type of stuff actually, Kent. It's just it's about respect, and it's about valuing what we've got right now from the history that's gone before us and what's going to come. So it's pretty simple type of stuff, but I think the strength of our union is having guys like Dwayne Monkley, Steve Gordon, Matty Cooper that can come in and talk to these guys and explain to them what it's actually about. And that's what we try to live as a team just each week, is to go out and put something out there that our people have played the game, but our community will be proud of each week. And it's something that we've made massive strides in the last couple of years, I think. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us to do to make sure that we get that right. But the boys are on the right track.
Hey, good stuff, Gibbo. Look, mate, we've got to cut you short there, but good luck for this year's ITM Cup. There's no more passionate man in Waikato rugby than you. I don't think I've ever worked with someone that puts more time and effort into the colours, mate. So thanks very much for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
I can't believe Martin Crowe's a comeback batter here in Matamata. Katrina will be back with you after the break.